Hello GCC, welcome back to the third Chapter 2 video for Chem 130. So we're on our math skills chapter, learning about some math skills that will help us for the rest of the semester. The next skill is rounding numbers. So there is nothing new here. If it is less than 5, don't round up. If it is greater or equal to 5, round up. However, don't change the magnitude of the number. What does magnitude mean, you're probably asking? Well, that's how big or small the number is. Like, is it in the thousands, the hundreds, the tenths, the billions? If the number's in the thousands, generally speaking, when you round, it must still be in the thousands with few exceptions. So, for example, 532 rounds to 500. Or 530, depending on how many sig figs we need. It stayed 500. I didn't change it to 5. That doesn't make sense, right? So don't change the magnitude. I always ask my students in my face-to-face class, round 6,999. What does that round to? 6,999. And the students, for the most part, say 7,000. You didn't say 7. 6,999 doesn't round to 7, it rounds to 7,000. So again, keep the magnitude. Use those placeholder zeros. 7,000 has some placeholder zeros in there. Use them to keep the magnitude. So we're going to round numbers off to 3 significant figures. Okay, the first one's pretty simple. 1.8374 has 5 sig figs. But let's say we only need 3 sig figs. So what are we going to do? We're going to keep the 1 point, we're going to keep the A, and then that 3, we're going to keep it, but look next to it at the 7. Does a 7 make you round up or no? Yeah, a 7 makes you round up. So it's going to be 1.84 centimeters. 1.84 centimeters is rounded to 3 sig figs. We're going to be doing a lot of rounding, so this is important. Pay attention. Number 2, $7,162.32, so 32 cents. Round to 3 sig figs. So we're going to keep that 7, we're going to keep the 1, we're going to keep the 6. Looks next to it at a 2. Does a 2 round up? No. So the answer is 7,160. Keep the magnitude, not 716. See the difference? $7,000, $700. Very big difference. So again, this number is 7,000. It needs to stay 7,000. So we're going to use a placeholder 0. 7160. Don't put a decimal point. Okay, we don't need that. Just 7160 is rounded to 3 sig figs. See, the 0 doesn't count. It's at the end being a placeholder 0. All right, number 3, 0.00131154. Now remember, the zeros in front don't count as sig figs, but we keep them for the magnitude. The first sig fig we reach is the 1. So that's our first sig fig. We're going to keep it, the 3, and the 1 is next to another 1. Do 1s round up? No. So the answer is 0.00131 millimeters. The last one's tricky. 24,925 inches. Again, round to 3 sig figs. Some students say 25,000. But that's only 2 sig figs, right? The 2 and the 5. So it's actually 24,900 inches. 3 sig figs, 2 placeholder zeros, they're necessary. It's 24,000, not 249. So there's our answers. Again, 1.84 centimeters, 7,160, not 716. 0.00131 and 24,900. This is very important. Okay, so if you have questions about these, ask your instructor. You've got to be able to round to the correct sig figs every time we do math in this class. So this is big. Again, nothing's new. We're just rounding. Good luck. Okay, adding and subtracting. Let's go over that. So adding and subtracting. When we're adding and subtracting measurements, it's a little different than just any old numbers. So I know I'm going to make this hard. So adding and subtracting measurements means the final answer needs to have the same decimal places as the fewest decimal places in the problem. Your answer can only be as accurate as the weakest link. Let me show you an example. We got 13.5478 feet. We're going to focus on decimal places when we add and subtract. Those are the numbers after the point. So we've got 4, a 5478. We got 4 decimal places in that number. Now we're going to subtract 11.20 feet. That's different. In 11.20, we only have 2 decimal places. Now, go ahead and grab your calculator if you have one. Do this in your calculator and look at your answer. 13.5478 minus 11.20. Okay, my answer in the calculator has 4 decimal places. But this is a measurement problem, and we just said we can only have the same number of decimal places as the fewest. 11.20 only has 2 decimal places, so my answer can only have 2 decimal places. Calculators don't know sig figs. So, I know the calculator says 2.3478 feet, but it's wrong. It's wrong. We can only have 2 decimal places because of the fewest in the problem is 2. So we need to round that to 2.35 feet, final answer. I know, I just ruined adding and subtracting for you. So again, for measurements, go with the fewest decimal places. Again, it was rounded to 2.35. Since in the problem, 11.20 only has 2 decimal places, it's the fewest. We focus on decimal places when we add and subtract. Decimal places, not sig figs. It's actually decimal places. Let's try another one. 246.85 grams plus 72.1567 grams. Okay, again, you can add those together in your calculator, but they're measurements, so we need to go with the fewest decimal places. Go ahead, give it a try. Now your calculator says 319.0067 grams. But again, we can only have 2 decimal places. So 319.0, but the zero's next to a 6. 6 rounds up. So final answer, 319.01 grams. 2 decimal places. Focus on decimal places for adding and subtracting. All right, we'll come back and try some more measurements with multiplying and dividing in the next video. Good luck, GCC.